Hello, everybody. I'm Brian Tuck. We're just going to wait a few minutes to make sure we've got some people on with us before we start breaking down Pennsylvania House Bill 561. Okay. If you have any comments to what we're about to discuss, there are 2 pages for the law practice. The one I'll be responding to live is at Tuck Law Offices. Now, first of all, I want to thank Gerard Longo of Underground Music Collective for bringing this to my attention. And the plan is we're going to provide some context for House Bill 561. Again, this is a Pennsylvania state piece of legislation, not a federal piece of legislation. So it only has impact within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. However, this is a significant change to the law, which is going to make the making a livelihood as a musician even more difficult than it already is. So basically, House Bill 561 amends a provision in the Pennsylvania Liquor Code. Now, how does that impact musicians, you ask? Well, quite simply, what House Bill 561, and we're just going to call it 561 for now to make things a little bit easier. What this bill does, and it was passed by a margin of 185 to 12, so overwhelmingly passed in the House. What this bill does is it allows establishments, any liquor licensee more specifically, to employ minors. Now, there are many restrictions in the Liquor Code about the ages of the workers in bars and in restaurants where alcohol is being served. What 561 does is that it allows liquor licensees to hire minors. So anyone with working papers, age 14, 15, 16 on up, it authorizes liquor licensees to hire those people to perform as musicians, and that is actually in the bill. I'm going to read you the passage in a minute, and then I'll post it to the thread so you can see it. However, the 561 prohibits those establishments from paying the young performers. So in other words, 561 authorizes liquor licensees to allow young people to perform as musicians in their establishment, but the same law actually prohibits the establishment from paying those performers. In other words, the Pennsylvania House wants establishments to be able to have young performers in and not pay them anything. Now, this is at odds with a law called the Pennsylvania Wage Payment and Collection Law, which says that you must pay people their wages when they are due. Here's the text of the provision, and what it says is a hotel, also important to note that hotels are included in this, a hotel, restaurant, or club licensee may permit a minor of any age to perform music if the minor is not compensated and the minor is under the supervision of a parent or guardian. Now, this has a lot of impact for working musicians. There's no question about it. This is a horrible piece of legislation for this group of people. I'm one of them. I don't like it either from the standpoint of a musician or as an attorney that represents creative people. But basically, I think there's four takeaways from this. Now, first, the performance fees that establishments are willing to pay professionals, those performance fees are going to go down. There is no doubt about it. If this bill becomes law, performance fees across the board will decrease, because whenever you're introducing free labor into any market, the result is it drives wages down. And everybody that is out playing gigs 3, 4, 5 nights a week, sometimes you're doing doubles on Friday or Saturday, for those people, you are the ones that are going to be hit the hardest in Pennsylvania. Second, and I think this is really, really terrible, is it institutionalizes the fiction that young or beginning performers should perform for free. You know, you should work for the exposure. It'll be great for your career. That myth, that's nonsense. You should not be giving your labor away for free in any economy. The third takeaway is this is a boon for establishments who now can book minors and pay them $0 rather than hire professionals. This is very good for the hotel and restaurant industry. There's no other way to slice it. They are the only winners in this situation. Now, one thing I've been thinking about all day since I started reading this is there's a group of people who are also negatively impacted by this that aren't in the text of the legislation. But I'll tell you what, I think DJs are also at risk here. The statute does not define what a person who performs music is. The statute's actually very vague on that point. I would argue DJs are just as risk as anybody else here. So if this is something you want to stop, there is a chance still. The bill 561 has only been passed by the House. That's it. It has not yet gone to the Senate. It has not been signed by the governor. Find out. Here's your action item, okay? Here's your call to action. Find out who your Pennsylvania state senator is and call them. Email them. Tweet at them. Do what you need to do in terms of communicating how negative an impact this bill will have on your livelihood. If you're a musician or a DJ out there, you want to stop this from becoming law. Because once it passes the Senate, in all likelihood, it'll be signed by the governor. I can't think offhand of very many vetoes that the governor has handed out. So as a result, I think that the chance for the creative community to stop House Bill 561 from becoming law is it must be stopped before the Senate votes on it. Act today. Don't wait till next week. We have no way of knowing when this bill will reach the Senate for a vote as of yet. Assume that you have to act now. So contact your state senator, explain to them who you are, why this bill is terrible, why they should vote no. Be respectful, be polite, but be very forceful in expressing your opinion and your opposition to what it really can only be called a horrible piece of legislation from the standpoint of creators. It is definitely pro-hospitality industry and anti-musician. That's the way I see it, and I hope that this conversation has helped a little bit. If you have any questions, you can DM me through Facebook. You can also email me, brian@tucklaw.com, and I will be sure to get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks very much for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Best of luck.